Hey guys, in this video I figured I would just go over these gone deals quickly just because I thought there was some really good value in some of these deals and I figured it was worth bringing to attention. This video is not going to be super long, but I'm just going to give you my thoughts and go down on a quick one take run through of some of these cruises. So obviously today's February 13th, I believe. Yeah, today's the 13th. So these will be up for a while. I think they'll go past the 13th and 14th if they don't sell out right away, but don't take my word for that. Obviously, I'm not 100% sure. But let's get started. So this first cruise is on Anthem of the Seas, 15-night Tokyo to Seattle, which if you look at these prices, you can basically get a cabin for like $2,000. And for 15 nights, that sounds like really good. But once you actually look at the itinerary, it's kind of terrible. Because you only get 3 port days in Japan, and then was this 5 sea days, whatever this counts as a day at sea, so 5, 6, 7, 8, and then you get what, 2 days at Washington. So that's a lot of sea days. I mean, it'd be great if you were already in Japan and like you needed to hitch a ride from Japan to the US, but that just doesn't seem very feasible for a lot of people, I would assume. Another great value would be this Harmony of the Seas, which I personally have done this 7-night itinerary out of Galveston, and I would personally recommend it, especially during these dates because it's gonna be a lot cooler out. And if you look at these bottom two, you can get, what is that, $600 about, so 1,200 for a cabin on an Oasis class ship for 7 nights. And this is just the Roatan Cozumel. There's one more port in there. I can't think of it off the top of my head. But yeah, some basic Caribbean ports and then a couple sea days. So it's a really good overall cruise. And then for that price, it's just really good value. All these other ships like Enchantment, Jewel, I wouldn't sail on those personally unless, especially if you just compare like these price differences. So the cheapest on like Enchantment for like 4 to 5 nights is 400. I'd rather go on Harmony for 7 for an extra $200 per person. I mean, personally, that's just how my brain works. And then for Jewel, the cheapest is this, which again, 3 nights only too, so it's not really great value. Here, Liberty is not a terrible ship, but for this price, is the only cruise I would consider maybe. Yeah, like I wouldn't take any of these sailings, honestly. Mariner, older ship again, also out of Galveston. And the thing about Galveston that sucks is it's going to cost you a pretty penny to take Uber, Lyft, or a transport from Houston or wherever you're at to the actual port from Galveston. In the US, it is the longest port from the airport that you fly into. The second would be Port Canaveral in Florida. So it's something you got to think about when you're looking at like price and value wise. You got to think about flights because most of these people are going to have to be flying in, especially if you're from overseas. It's going to be a huge cost. I recommend credit card points, but you know, not everybody can. So then you got these Navigator cruises, which again, for these prices, unless you're in California already, I would take this bottom 7-night itinerary. But that's such a steep price for what that is. Then if you look at this Quantum of the Seas, it says Hawaii to Vancouver, 8 nights, and then especially look at this price tag. But it's also kind of like that Japan cruise where it's tender port in Hawaii here, and then you're cruising the coast of Hawaii, so you're not actually in a port day, and then it's all sea days, and then you're in Canada. So it's really, you're not really in Hawaii, as one would think. Radiance, I wouldn't even get on Radiance, especially for those prices. Like, how is anybody charging this and going on that for Radiance? Not sure. And then this is pretty cheap, 5-night Pacific Coastal Cruise. I'm assuming this is a lot of sea days too, if I had to guess. And then we go down Serenade. For that price, it might not be bad, but it's a Pacific Coastal Cruise, so I assume it's a lot of sea days on that. I haven't looked, but that's just my assumption. And then the Symphony of the Seas, which is probably one of my favorite Oasis class ships. Haven't been on it, but I've done a lot of research. And it has like some of my favorite amenities that Royal offers. 9 nights too, out of New Jersey though, so all the ports are gonna be terrible. There's gonna be like US ports mostly. And especially for this price tag, I would consider Harmony over Symphony at that price, because what is that, 1,200 per person, and then we go up to Harmony. Harmony's literally half that, and you know, it's only 2 extra nights. You got down here Utopia of the Seas, which I'm really surprised to see one of the newer ships on here. Well, when I say newer ships, I just mean Utopia and Icon, I guess. But these prices are insane for 3 days still. Like, I don't think I would ever do this personally. Vision, I don't think I would ever sail in Vision either, especially at that price point. And Bermuda, yeah. Voyager, probably want to do that one either. But then we get to these ones down here for Wonder of the Seas. And Wonder of the Seas is one of the best cruise ships in the entire world. And you can get, they're really expensive prices, but if you're ever going to have the chance, now is the chance to go. So if you can take it, I would do Wonder. Personally, but if I was going to recommend this to everyone, I would check out these Harmony of the Seas, because this is an Oasis class ship and you're getting it for 1,200 for an interior stateroom. And it's going to be fine to have an interior stateroom on this cruise ship, because you're not going to be in your room at all. You're pretty much just going to sleep and, like, you know, get dressed in there. There's so much to do on this ship that you won't have any problems with that interior. That's what I would recommend. Just figured I would bring this to your attention, as there's so many deals, and usually there's not this many gone deals, so I figured I'd just bring it to your attention. If you like these kind of videos, let me know and I'll keep doing them. I've tried doing them in short form, and I feel like that also works, but there's just so many listings and there's so much I wanted to talk about, so that's why I did the long form this time. But if you actually watched it this long, I appreciate it, and I'll see you next time.